Alright, everybody, Bald&curious here. It's January 10th and it's about 50 degrees, believe it or not. Rain most of the day. So I'm out here at the range doing a little shooting, and I want to talk about the Arsenal firearms, Strike One. Uh, till this day, I put probably, I'm gonna say about 700-800 rounds. So I have a little insight how it feels, how it shoots. One thing I'm gonna say, although it's a great gun, it's still, I'm gonna say number two or number three on my favorite guns. I still prefer the X-calibur or X-trim. Although, let me just clear the both. As you can see, it's got a high bore axis. You know, I mean, optically, it seems it's so much higher than Excalibur, but in reality, it's maybe half an inch, I'd say. Maybe 3/4. But it feels completely different because when you take, let me turn it and show you. When you take an aim, when you hold it and you aim it, you're literally looking right down the slide. So that's a little, it's just a little weird. You gotta get used to it, but it definitely points out nice. My fiber optic homemade front sight works fine. The blackout rear so far works fine. I know they came up with the different models with a rear sights dovetailed. I don't really have a problem with these sights, although the rear sight doesn't really give you option to grab on and cock the gun. It's like sort of like a Dawson sight. But I'm not an operator, so I don't care. The one thing that still does bug me is the mag release. Although I play with it, I got the spring working pretty good. It drops, but you can tell it just, and this is full mag. You see there's like a little delay till it drops. Now, if I compare it to Excalibur, and this is an empty mag, it just shoots up. I can even take the gun upside down and it pops the mag. You see? Don't really have that with Arsenal, and upside down, nothing. Like I said, that's one thing that's why I don't really shoot it for the competitions, because I don't have the trust in a mag grab, and you really gotta squeeze it, and sometimes when you squeeze it too hard, it actually gets stuck. I'll call the company. I haven't got around doing that. Try to get a mag release spring, a new one, and maybe mess around, see if I'm gonna get it better. But that's about the only grab I got with the gun. Gun shoots pretty much everything I put in it. Light loads, heavy loads, without changing the springs, never had any issues. Feeds reliably. I don't think in 800 rounds I had a single malfunction. If I had, it was maybe light strike, and there was really my reloads with the cheap primers. But with a good ammo, gun shoots real nice. Trigger on this thing is probably one of the best I ever had in the polymer striker guns. The PPQ had a nice trigger, but it was a lot heavier. This is nice and crisp, real short, reset. So it's a really nice gun. And the good thing is this is a huge gun. You see, I have a fairly big hand, and it sticks out of my hand. The magazines, like I said, they're fairly expensive and hard to come by, but the Megar CZ75 magazines, these, not the ones with the plastic pad, I had no issues with them. The little gap that's there, I believe that's just the way the base pad's designed, but I had no issues with anything. Now, what I'm gonna do is, everybody keeps talking about high bore axes and it lowers the recoil, blah blah blah. So what we'll do is, I have 165 grain extreme bullets. I believe these are over probably 3.2 grains of Type 2. Okay, so that makes about 135 power factor. That's what I use for my IDPA. So we're gonna take a couple of shots with this, and take a couple of shots with the X-calibur, and you be the judge. I'm just gonna shoot into the berm. I don't really have any target set up. I mean, it definitely helps. The gun, recoils and jumps back your sides. You're able to track them the whole time. Now, let's do same thing with the Excalibur. Same thing, 165 grain bullets. By the way, I love these things from Extremes. I love these heavy bullets. Okay, now I'll do the same thing with the Excalibur. So you draw your own conclusion. From my point of view, Excalibur actually has lower recoil than the Striker 1. Whether it's due to the rotating barrel design or just, I don't know, difference in weight, which, there is some, but not significant. I don't know. I really don't know, but I'm gonna give an edge to the Excalibur from Grand Power on this. When you switch the gun, when you switch from Arsenal to this, your whole point of view, the way you're looking at the sights, kind of changes because your hand is about 3/4 of an inch lower from the sights than Arsenal. But I mean, could be that I put thousands and thousands of rounds of ammo through Excalibur, so I'm a lot more used to it. But I don't know how good it's gonna show up on a camera. But I definitely feel a lighter recoil with this than the Striker 1. That being said, it's still excellent value. If you like straight fire gun, if you're a Glock guy and you just don't want to shoot Glock, you want to try something else, this gun, with the exception that problems I had with the mag release, but that's kind of rare. I did a little research. I even talked to Yankee Marshall, and he had no issues. He probably doesn't shoot as much as I do, but no, or should I say he shoots different guns. There was a couple of guys I found on YouTube that had the same problem. So other than that, it's a gun that take out of the box and go shoot. Go shoot, do the competition, get an extra mag. You don't have to do anything to it. It's just like Excalibur or my Extreme. You don't have to mess with the trigger. You don't have to mess with the springs. You don't have to add this, any gizmos or whatever. I do believe they have models they can order directly with the fiber optic site. The one I made, like I said, I don't really have any issues. I mean, it works fine for me. A little redneck ingenuity. So, like I said, a little different feel on the gun, but it's still a great value, still a good gun. I hope it helps anybody out there looking for either competition or home defense or whatever you're looking for to have a gun for. I wouldn't say this is an everyday carry gun. Although you're a big guy, you shouldn't have a problem concealing it. The grip is quite big, so that might you can see it's so much longer. So that might be an issue for some of small guys. But if you're a big guy, you shouldn't have a problem concealing it. But I wouldn't really carry this as a concealed carry gun, even though you have the trigger safety. I don't know. I'd be iffy about that. I really don't think this is built for a concealed carry. I heard rumors they're gonna come up with the compact versions. We'll see, where that's gonna go. But like I said, great value. You get a lot of bang for the buck. No pun intended. As always, have fun. Keep shooting.